Now, a bunch of fake checks that weren't even signed were deposited at a big name bank, cashed them all.
But it's what the bank did next to one of its clients that's really unbelievable. If you have a checking account, you need to see this.
You do. Arnold Diaz is on the case.
You're looking at a giant killer. 85-year-old Robert Haber. 5-year battle against Citibank. It started when he noticed on his bank statement copies of what appeared to be forged checks.
It wasn't signed. There was no signature. It wasn't on the form that my checks are.
You can see that his real check on top looks nothing like the forged one below. His are handwritten and signed. On the phony checks, all the information is printed. And on the signature line, it says, this signature required.
How do I authorize them to pay if I don't sign it? On what basis would they pay?
But Citibank paid on all 13 phony checks, totaling over $8,000.
To me, it's insane.
Even more insane, he says, is what happened when he went to his Citibank branch in Larchmont, showed them the forged checks made out to someone he doesn't know, and asked the manager to investigate.
They said, no, we're not going to do anything about it.
They wouldn't even investigate?
They wouldn't move an inch.
Mr. Haber's son, Steven, an attorney, couldn't believe it either.
Citibank never pursued the investigation 1 iota.
Unbelievably, Citibank refused to even reimburse Mr. Haber for the forged checks it cashed. The bank cited the 14-day rule.
You have 14 days to examine statement for errors and wrongful charges. If you do not alert the bank to these wrongful charges within that period of time, then you're stuck.
Mr. Haber to report the mistake because he was on vacation, but says the bank of its responsibility.
I don't understand why the bank would just shrug their shoulders and say that's your problem.
Robert Haber, who fled the Nazis 70 years ago and built a successful printing business, refused to take the loss without putting up a fight. He decided to sue Citibank, a David versus Goliath battle, though he says
a little bit better off than David was.
Right.
Because I got more than a slingshot.
He had the help of his son, the attorney. Together, they took Citibank to court almost 4 years ago. During the court case, a Citibank official admitted the bank never looked at the checks in question before cashing them. He testified the bank's policy is to only examine large checks. The rest are paid automatically.
To learn that, essentially, they've made a business decision that they will not look at a check under a certain amount, and the amount is substantial. It's worrisome.
Citibank failed to demonstrate that it exercised ordinary care when it processed the check, which bore no signature. But Citibank kept appealing the ruling, requiring 15 court appearances over 3 years, until just recently, when the bank finally agreed to repay Mr. Haber the value of the forged checks plus interest.
If Citibank decides to fight this, that small an amount, and is willing to spend 10 times that much in legal fees, and this is their decision, somebody isn't very bright.
The lesson from David to Goliath?
If you make a mistake, you've got to make good for the mistake.
So into our Fox 5 Hall of Shame, we induct Citibank for trying to make its customer pay because the bank didn't check the checks. Shame, shame, shame. The bottom line for consumers: review your bank statements as soon as you receive them and closely examine all your checks, because chances are the bank isn't looking at them at all. Story idea for us? Call us at 1-877-TEL-FOX-5 or go to our website, myfoxny.com. Click on